Thank you. Thank you. So today, what I'm going to talk about, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about how you can craft really good launch campaigns. But a lot of times what happens in any business is you don't necessarily have a new product to launch. You have the same product that you're working with, and what you want to do is a great promotion for a particular reason. It could be a reason that is happening in the community at that time, or it could just be because you want to run a promo and get some extra cash in the business in that month. So what I'm going to run is some reasons why a person doesn't, or why is it that a customer or a potential customer hasn't gone from a stage of being a prospect to a customer. And then we are going to talk about how to really move them from the place of being a prospect to the place of being a client and a customer. Okay, so that's going to be the objective of the presentation. So it's a three-step process. First step is always to identify as to why a prospect may not have been a customer yet. So that's the stage where you kind of sit down and go, okay, this is what my prospect is feeling right now, or may be feeling right now. Sometimes you don't really know, but you have to do a little bit of a guesswork and say, what is it that could have been the reason why the person hasn't taken the chance to try the product? Once you've done that, then you create a campaign that tackles that areas, or those areas, if there are many, for that client, for that prospect to become a client. And lastly is you close them with a great and a killer offer. Okay, an offer is an integral part and a very important part of the entire promotion campaign, and you will see why. Most of the times, understanding why a prospect doesn't buy is usually because of these reasons. There are four primary reasons. First is price, is why somebody might not have taken action to try your product, irrespective of that you might have given a lot of guarantee and stuff like that, but people still don't take action if they feel that the price is too high. This is the most common reason why. Secondly is the motivation to buy, which is, were they motivated enough to take action at that moment when you presented them the offer, or were they like, okay, an offer doesn't matter. So that is the second reason why sometimes when they're not really taking the action of becoming from prospect to a customer. Thirdly is they are maybe skeptical about your results, which is they might feel that you have a promise, but it's not really gonna happen, kind of, in a way. So that is another reason why clients feel that they don't want to take action, because they're skeptical about what you're giving them. And lastly, general ADD. Like, it's just generally, as an audience, I was looking at the offer and wife called, or the kid was crying, and you are just off the hook, and then you don't remember anymore, and you missed on the offer. And that's a big problem. Generally, that's a one big reason why sometimes people don't end up buying, because they're just ADD. And they're just focused on way too many ideas at the same time, which is also why our CTRs go down after a couple of emails, because people are just like, hey, why did I sign up for this shit? So, you know, those things happen. And so when at least I look at promotions and campaigns, I try to see if I can tackle all four, or at least quite a few of these elements, at least 3 out of these 4, why person may not have taken action and tried the product. And when I say try, I mean sometimes my intention is not even to say, oh, they would buy and keep it. My intention is, go ahead and try. And if it doesn't work for you, you can always refund, because that's a policy in all of our products and all our sales pages, right? So there should be no reason why somebody doesn't take action, because they can always refund it. Okay, so anyway, so this is how we look at, or I look at, creating a campaign. So some ways of how you can overcome these objections. First is what we call the engagement campaigns. These are campaigns where we work primarily with the ADD that people have, and also the motivation to purchase. That basically means that when let's say somebody signs up for an offer or a product or a service, what happens is they will see your product or service, but they've not really built that relationship with you. They haven't really engaged with you at any front, and so their commitment to you is much lesser, in the sense of their attention to you is much lesser as well. So what we try to do is we try to drive engagement in them, because that increases my commitment to their commitment towards what we are presenting after that and after that. Okay, so that's why we call it an engagement campaign. An example of it is community factor. So whenever you bring them in as a community, and I'm going to give examples of these campaigns, some of these campaigns, whenever you bring people in saying it's a big community that is into something, people tend to engage with you more. For example, one of our campaigns, which I'm going to present later, that we run successfully in Mindvalley Core, started at Mindvalley Italy, is called a scholarship promotion. Scholarship promotion is where we talk about the community and say the community together should look at this particular thing and say why they need a particular product. I'm going to explain the campaign later. Another community factor is where you make it all about that little group that is opted in for something, or a campaign which says, let's do this exercise together. That's also one very popular campaign that we run on Om Harmonics a lot, called Om Week, where what we say is, let's meditate for a week together on the same audio and let's post results together. Or something that we did for Philosopher's Notes, where we said, let's read these books together every day, one note for 20 minutes. And what happens at that point, because everybody's coming in together in this, is they have kind of made a commitment and an informal pact with each other to stick with it, and at the same point in time, they have also seeing results to what they're doing. So that's a big community factor that we play in. Another one is sense of achievement campaign. This is actually more in line with what I was talking about, scholarship campaign. It is basically where they can feel that they have achieved something at the end or during the campaign. For example, if you win the scholarship, you have a sense of achievement. So everybody's trying is why they get engaged, because they want this to stand out. Everybody wants to be identified and stand out. And that's what this campaign particularly does. Surveys is a great way to engage anybody. We usually use this on launches. We're going to try one of our survey campaign in one of the promotions. We haven't tested this yet, but this is another way of greatly engaging somebody, because they identify their own area of interest, or they identify with us because they engage with us because they filled in a survey form, and so they have kind of a connection because they're curious to see what happened once they took the survey. So it kind of creates an engagement angle there as well. Okay. Next is motivational campaigns. I'm going to give examples of all these campaigns towards the end and see how they all fit in. But these are kind of jigsaw puzzles. So you can take an engagement campaign idea, plug it in with an offer. You can take a motivational campaign idea, plug it into another offer. It's almost like a plug and play that you can have once you know what are the factors that you're playing with, what are the triggers that you're really playing with. Motivational campaigns is, again, it tackles with ADD and it motivates people to actually take action. One of the most popular campaigns that we have run on motivational side is called the Yes You Can campaign. It's basically a campaign where we tell people that they can achieve certain results by giving them case studies. The case studies don't necessarily have to be of the product. It can be actually outside the product too. So, for example, the Yes You Can campaign that we ran a couple of years ago had case studies of people who had certain disabilities but still achieved great things in life. And when you do that, what happens is people associate that, hey, if that person can do it, I can definitely do it. And that kind of gives them the sense of motivation of saying, what is the challenge in life that I want to tackle? Now, of course, we connect it to the product and the challenge in life that we solve with our product. But at the same point in time, because of that motivation, they want to go ahead and try the product or the service, whatever that is. Okay. Lastly is results in advance campaigns, which is called also RIA. This is mostly to get them to be motivated, and if they are skeptical about results, to get them the results first and then get them to take action on those results because they've already experienced it. The Om Week campaign that I just talked about, which is basically a campaign where you get people to take part in something together, is a results in advance campaign. They do meditation every day for 10 minutes, 20 minutes together. They get to experience the results on themselves. Okay? And that's called a results in advance campaign, primarily working for skeptical about results. And then you get them to try something for free, exactly as I said, like the Om Week campaign, or anything like if the program that you want to offer is Silver Mind Body Healing, what you give in advance to everybody is a meditation from Silver Mind Body Healing. Let them experience the results and then position the product to them. Now let's go in, okay, sorry, I forgot this step. Of course, there's crafting a killer offer. That's extremely important because, as I said, one of the biggest objections that you will face with people is the price objection, where people are not taking action from being a prospect to a customer is basically because they think that the price is too high or they are not able to afford it. So some of the killer offers that we have tested by tackling price objection is dollar trial, so huge discounts with big bonuses. which is also another factor that you bring in into your offer, which is you take away all the risk that is involved. And oh, actually, I'm skipping too fast, so I'm going to repeat this part. So the key factors that you need to consider when you're making your offer is that you need to see the various areas that you're going to tackle when the offer is being presented. One is price objection. So you give a big discount or you give a dollar trial, because that's one of the big factors that stops people to take action. Another thing that stops people to take action is the risk that is involved. So it's called risk reversal, as Jay Abraham calls it, which happens with a really kick-ass guarantee, which is standard to Mindvalley products, but a lot of times that could be something that is not positioned well in your offer. And if you position it well, you will get a lot more response from people. Like we give a standard 90-day guarantee. For that matter, we would refund even if the person asks after 365 days because we are just cool like that. But that's something that just because if it's not positioned properly, people tend to skip it and not know that that is actually there present for them. And lastly is just be cool and stack on the bonuses. Give them more advantages than disadvantages for them to be able to take action. And some of the campaigns that I'm going to share kind of covers all of these elements. So I'm going to share some campaigns that has done real well for either Mindvalley or Mindvalley Planet companies, one of the Planet companies or something like that. One of the campaign that we run sometimes and we used to run a lot is what I call the Feel a Dealer campaign, which basically is you get the person first to feel the product or the service or the author, and then you actually give them a deal or a great discount or make a really good offer in the end. That usually starts with some format of content. Then you give content that kind of establishes social proof, basically psychological triggers after that, which would have made them not take the action, and lastly giving them some results in advance, and then making a really good offer. For example, and I quickly put this together, if I was to run a Feel a Dealer, let's say today, what would I do? So I went into one of our blogs, it's the Silver Mind Body Healing blog, and I said, okay, if I was to run a Feel a Dealer campaign that would, in my opinion, bring in a ton of money still, I would just plug in these three things. So first, content would be something like this, which will basically establish trust in the brand and establish trust at the same point and give real high value content. So you will see this particular thing talks about how skeptics, and it's all been proven by scientists and stuff like that, the theory that is behind the program. The second thing that I would present to them is a healer's diary, which basically talks about how people have actually used the program to heal themselves, because it's a Silver Mind Body Healing program, and really establish that trust and bond between me and the potential prospect or client. And lastly, I would give them a free meditation that they can actually go ahead and try. Of course, in the emails, I'll be positioning them in the same way so people can really experience and engage with this content that I'm giving away. And after that, I would just make a really compelling offer. Now, it's a very simple and fast way of doing it. Of course, you can craft content in a much better way than I just put together, and these are just blog posts that are already existing. But to craft an offer is sometimes that easy. You don't even need to create new content or new things for it. What you do is you repurpose your content to align and fall in order to really meet the purpose of why that prospect hasn't become a client, and you just roll it out based on that. So you don't even need new content to create great promotions, and sometimes really good promotions. And of course, I don't have an offer example, but some of the great offer examples that we've had is giving almost 50% discount with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bonuses sometimes. And what happens when you do that is people have no reason to not take action and try the product, and you create a lot of first-time customers. And once you've got a customer, it's easier to sell them on the back end, to have upsells and cross-sells and all the other crazy stuff, because they've already had an experience with you. One that we talk about a lot, called the scholarship campaign. This is one of the offers that we ran earlier this year, made like 100K or something on Mindvalley Core. Every time we run it on Mindvalley Italy, we also make quite a bit on this offer. The campaign is very simple. The first thing that we give away is something like this. This is the Italian page, but because I couldn't find the English page. But basically, what happens is you put the campaign up with just a simple video which says, hey, because you've been on my list, or for any other reason, if there is a dominant emotion at that time, this is because you have been associated with me for so long, I want to give out 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, depending on how many you want to give away, a free copy of this particular program because I want you to experience it. I can't give it to everybody, but I will give it to 5 most needy people, kind of, or the people who are in need of this particular program. All I want you to do is write a comment below if you think that you truly deserve it. Now, you would get sometimes thousands of comments, people just writing in why they would get a free copy. As I said, people want that attention and want to really win that particular thing because it gives them that sense of achievement of actually being able to win that. So it builds a lot of conversations around that. And that's what we try to do in this video, and the comment box right below that for people to be able to engage with you, and then we make a killer offer. Lastly is the Yes You Can campaign, the campaign that I was talking about earlier. What happens in that campaign is you start with a video, let's say a video. What we did previously was a video of a guy called Nick Wojcik. I don't know if you guys know the guy. You should Google him. The guy has no hands, no limbs. A great motivational speaker. He has done great things in life. So we give an example. We say, look at Nick. Nick is a great guy, but he has no hands, no limbs, and he has a really good talk that is in that YouTube video. Nothing to do with Mindvalley. We have never met the guy for that matter. But what we do is we repurpose that content and send out a list, hey, if this guy can do it, you can too. And then we repurpose some more content like that related to it. Like there's another video called Team Hoyt, H-O-Y-T, where there's a father, like an 80-year-old man or something like that, who again, his kid's dream is to do Ironmans. And he's run like 30 Ironmans with the guy on his back because the kid cannot walk or something like that. And he gets him to do the Ironmans, and which shows that age is no barrier and you can achieve anything at any age, because he's an extremely fit, vital man who can still move and in his 70s, 80s, do Ironmans, like crazy ass Ironmans, like 2, 3 a year or some shit like that. So what we are doing when we are doing that is we are kind of implying that if these people can do it with these many problems in life, you can do it too. And then we position the product by saying, okay, now you know you can achieve all these things. If there is an area in life that this product can solve, here is a great deal for you to go ahead and try. Now it gives them people the motivation, the engagement to actually go ahead and take action. Okay, so these are some really cool, easy ways to create any kind of promos, and they are almost like a jigsaw puzzle that you just plug and play and combine it with a great offer, and you can create some really good offers. Cool? All right, thank you very much.